This is a story you will want to hear before you head to the beach. A new report found half of U.S. beaches had potentially unsafe levels of fecal contamination on at least one occasion last year.
Locally now, the report says beaches with the most potentially unsafe days were from reports in Glynn County. Renata DiGregorio went up to Glynn County, kind of got a look firsthand at all of this. Perspective is important, and forgive, because it is about breakfast time, but we're not always talking about human, but there's animals related with this as well, which is going to happen.
Yeah, I talked to the man who oversees all the testing, and he was bringing up the animal part. The report is, though, from Environment America, and they combed through data collected by the National Water Quality Monitoring Council. You may have seen this report shared online, I know I did, and the man who oversees the fecal contamination testing at the beaches in Glynn County says looking at the numbers is really important here. The Environment America report says the beach at 5th Street on St. Simon's Island had the highest number of potentially unsafe fecal contamination levels in Georgia last year, 8 days out of 53 days of testing. And they report Glynn County had 6 of the top 10 potentially unsafe beach days. Edwards Marsley, who oversees the Georgia Department of Natural Resources testing at the beach for bacteria found in feces, says more context is needed.
In 2022, we tested 777 times on our Tier 1 beaches. Our Tier 1 beaches are found on Jekyll, St. Simons, and Tybee. Of those 777 tests, we've only had 23 advisories. That's coming back at like 97% of our tests are coming back fine, safe swimming water. Zmarsley says the marshes, which are home to Georgia's wildlife, are to blame for the fecal matter. We've got a couple of beaches on Jekyll that are posted under a permanent advisory due to their proximity to a couple of bird rookeries. You can also find bacteria level information on a map at gahealthybeaches.org. Zmarsley says it's always important to know your risk when it comes to any bacteria. We also looked at data from the Environmental Protection Agency. It shows the country's beaches were open and safe for swimming 92% of the time last year, and that number hasn't really changed in the last 5 years. Renata DiGregorio, First Coast News, on your side.